How does a wired pawn work? Definition: a wired pawn is essentially a furniture that is able to move around the unit through wires. Created by Chuck Norris, pawns bring a new and exciting element into the game, as they have the ability to elevate wiring games to a whole new level. By the time you're done watching this video, you'll have a deeper and better understanding of how pawns work and the different mechanisms that play into it. Let's get started. This is a 10 pixels by 10 pixels reshapeable units. Each square pixel represents a different coordinate in the units. This is coordinate X. This is coordinate Y. In reshapeable units, this top corner will always be coordinate 0, 0. Here is a visual of the coordinates in a 10 by 10 reshapeable units. Let's find the coordinates for this square together. First, let's find the X coordinate. 0, 1, and 2. This square's coordinate X would be equal to 2. Now let's find the Y coordinate. 0, 1, 2, and 3. And so the Y is equal to 3. Put them together, the square's coordinates are 2x, y 3. This is the pawn's language. So it's vital that you have a basic understanding of units' coordinates. This is a vector encoder. A vector encoder can register and display coordinates. On the left is coordinate X. In the middle is coordinate Y. On the right is coordinate Z, which stands for floor height. Coordinate Z was introduced to accommodate the newly added building blocks. When you click the vector encoder in wiring mode, this window will pop up. Let's take a closer look. Upon clicking this door icon, your screen will go into set destination mode, which means wherever you click in the unit next will be the registered coordinate in the vector. As you can see, the coordinates updated in real time after click. Vector encoders are essential to pawns. If you are using a pawn, you will most likely use a vector encoder as well. There are 3 different types of pawns: regular pawns, flat pawns, and chair pawns. The regular and flat pawns have the same outputs. However, the regular pawns will send players to spawn upon contact. Chair pawns have extra outputs and inputs. We'll cover them in this video. Let's break down regular pawns first. You'll know you're working with a regular pawn if it meets the following characteristics. It's not clickable by a user. It's not walkable by a user. This just means the user can't click or walk on the pawn. When you click a regular pawn in wiring mode, this window will appear. At the top, there's two different tabs. The green one is the Outputs tab. The blue one is the Inputs tab. If you look a little closer, you can see that some inputs have a white outline around them, and some don't. For pawns, this means that any input/output with a white outline requires a coordinate. Let's say I want the pawn to move from point A to point B. First, add a vector encoder near point A. Select the vector encoder, and then select the Set Destination icon. Upon entering Set Destination mode, click point A. So now we have the coordinates for point A. Repeat the same thing for point B. We can now use these two coordinates to communicate with the pawn. Click point A's vector encoder in wiring mode and select the data output. In-game, there will be a physical wire connecting them both. It won't show in the video since this is an explanation and not a wiring tutorial. After you've selected data, click on the pawn. Since we are connecting an output, the pawn's inputs should automatically open after click. Remember that point A is where we want the pawn to start from. So we'll connect it to the origin input. We just told the pawn that this specific coordinate is going to be your origin. This also means the pawn will land here upon reset. Select the vector encoder near point B in wiring mode. Select the data output again. The data just means the coordinates displayed in the vector. Connect it to the regular pawn. Remember that we want the pawn to go from point A to point B. Therefore, we want it to end at point B. Because of this, we'll connect point B coordinates to the destination input in the pawn.